Time to rock and roll!
Hello my friends. My name is Bot Mathematician and this is Holomancer.
Also, Chief Investigative Reporter Dora joined us this evening.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop. Guys, Hearthstone is about to turn 10 years old. I think it would be interesting to go back in time to remember where it all started and explore the original economics of the game. And also to find the answer to the question: have there been any significant changes to the progression system, and how much did a collection of cards cost in 2014?
Great idea Dora. This video is a good opportunity to get a little nostalgic.
It would be great to determine all the details of the first year of Hearthstone life.
The full release of Hearthstone took place on March 11, 2014. The genre of collectible card games had existed for over 20 years and was quite popular and prominent, but the appearance of Hearthstone created a huge impetus for the popularization and development of card games on digital platforms. The most important feature of the game was its cross-platform nature. The ability to play on a mobile device in real time against PC players was almost revolutionary.
Here's what the most profitable games in the genre looked like in 2014, according to the Super Data Report.
Apart from Magic the Gathering, the industry was led by predominantly mobile games from major publishers like Capcom, Warner Bros. And Konami. These projects generated impressive profits despite very mediocre gameplay and visual style. Players were waiting for a decent game to appear and were even willing to pay money for it. Injustice Gods Among Us was a fighting game with collectible elements. Do you remember the collectible card game based on the Star Wars franchise? The publisher was Konami. The funny thing is that the gaming giant created very strange games for mobile platforms, ignoring the most popular Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Japanese anime-based game Rage of Bahamut was also performing well before the release of Hearthstone.
It seems like card games based on the Marvel franchises have haunted Hearthstone throughout its life. One of the biggest competitors in 2014 was Marvel War of Heroes. Despite the very strange gameplay and short life cycle, the game generated huge profits. The incredible fact is that after 10 years, Marvel Snap has become a major competitor on the mobile platform.
Personally, before the appearance of Hearthstone, I dreamed of a port of one of the many single-player Yu-Gi-Oh games on mobile platforms, but for lack of alternatives was forced to play Order and Chaos Duels from Gameloft.
Now you have some idea of the state of the industry 10 years ago and realize how different Hearthstone was from the competition. The game was technological, innovative, with a stunning visual style and a dynamic and very simple gameplay. Another very important advantage of Hearthstone was its approach to monetization. Unlike all other card games, players could stay competitive without investing real money. On one hand, Hearthstone packs had obnoxious elements of gacha mechanics, but the full-fledged crafting system allowed all players to stay competitive regardless of the amount of money invested. Blizzard has created a unique balance between greed and loyalty, since getting the most effective deck was relatively easy but increasing variety was very expensive. Thus, free-to-play status did not prevent players from reaching the legend rank and competing on equal terms with premium players. Hearthstone initially sold diversity but not advantages. This approach was revolutionary without exaggeration, as by their ideology collectible card games sell a negligible chance of gaining an advantage, whereas in Hearthstone, even if you don't find the conventionally strongest card from the set in your packs, you are guaranteed to get the dust to craft the strongest card. This fact allowed the game to create a fairly good competitive environment.
It's common nowadays to criticize Blizzard for any commercial decisions. But let's be objective. For all the clear advantages of Hearthstone, Activision Blizzard prefers to monetize access to different strategies but not the direct game advantages that affect win rate. This was an extremely risky strategy, guaranteeing the company's financial efficiency only in the case of a huge active audience. If Blizzard completely removed the crafting system from the game, it would have allowed the company to make a lot more money without preventing the game from becoming a huge success. The current financial efficiency of Marvel Snap may be a confirmation of my assumption. A card game with addictive gameplay but without a full-fledged crafting system has the potential to generate the most impressive profits.
I think you're right Dora, but at the same time the lack of a crafting system probably wouldn't have allowed the game to gather such an impressive audience, and survive so long. Also, don't assume that Blizzard was doing volunteer work. Stable profits were one of the primary goals of Hearthstone's economy. Yes, The approach was very risky, but if successful, it could bring in significantly more profit over the long haul.
The healthy functioning of any game as a service requires consistently high revenues. With a fully loyal economy and no restrictions, the number of people willing to make a purchase will be extremely low. The financial failure of good games like Gwent and Legends of Runeterra confirms this rule. For this reason, Blizzard adding a crafting system made the cost of packs extremely high and the benefit of the purchase not as influential. The pricing concept has remained largely unchanged for 10 years.
The maximum cost of a pack is still $1.50. The cost is not significantly reduced depending on the amount of purchase. For example, investing $50 will get you 40 packs. This will on average, but not guaranteed, get you 2 random legendary cards and 8 epic cards that may turn out to be trash, as well as some amount of resources for crafting.
Despite the revolutionary approach and loyal economy, the cost of a full card collection in 2014 was shocking. Of course, players don't need a full card collection to be competitive, and most of the cards were useless. Unfortunately, we don't have enough data on the best decks of 2014 to determine the value of only useful cards. For this reason, we will be discussing the value of a full collection. In addition, Hearthstone is still a collectible game, so determining the value of the full collection is an important indicator.
After the release of the game, in addition to the free basic cards, only one set was available for players to collect. The Classic or Expert set is the largest in the history of Hearthstone and originally consisted of 240 cards, including 32 legendary cards and 36 epic cards. Packs in 2014 did not have the first guaranteed legendary card in the first 10 packs or free cards as a promo, as well as duplicates protection, which means that any card you could get an infinite number of times. If it was not so critical for replenishing the collection of rare and common cards, then getting legendary cards was extremely difficult. The chance of getting a specific legendary card was a little more than 3%, and this coefficient did not change depending on the size of the collection.
Players have often faced the situation of finding the same legendary card in packs several times in a row. And getting duplicates of a legendary card that is already in the collection was a common phenomenon. At the same time, the probability of getting a duplicate for premium players was much higher than for free-to-play players, since they opened more packs. This suffering is unfamiliar to modern Hearthstone players, as duplicate protection works for cards of any rarity, meaning you can't get a duplicate until you've collected all cards of a certain rarity.
Before we continue, we want to express our boundless gratitude to our sponsors.
Dear friends, without your support the release of new videos is difficult. We strive to ensure that each of our videos remains special. Therefore, each topic requires a huge amount of effort and time, which prevents us from releasing videos with increased regularity. We will be grateful for any support.
Your likes, comments, subscription to the channel and sponsorship motivate us to create more new videos.
Thank you for your activity, and now let's continue. At first glance it may seem that the packs have not changed, but the packs from 2014 are significantly different from the modern packs. According to our calculations, the player needed to buy about 460 expert packs, at total cost of $550, assuming that all duplicates were turned into dust to craft the missing cards. By the way, interesting fact, if in 2014 the duplicate protection worked, the total cost would have been reduced to $430. So this system would have saved premium players $120.
Yes, this cost is shocking, but we should not forget that this price formation is common in the card game genre. Moreover, we believe that this cost is manipulative, as players receive free resources that significantly reduce the overall cost of the collection. Let's find out just how much. The first thing players received were starter quests that rewarded players for their first steps in the game. Players had to win 5 games in practice mode, get any class to level 10, complete a game in play mode, play 3 games, and so on. For all activities, players could get 400 gold coins, 3 classic packs, 95 arcane dust, and 1 arena ticket. This is equivalent to a minimum of 9 classic packs. By the way, this is commensurate with the total size of the reward for returning to the game. In addition, there were quests, which were a kind of analogues of achievements. For example, for 100 wins in any mode, a player could get 300 gold coins. It is also worth noting that in 2014 there were not yet the usual ranked rewards. Players could get a card back for reaching the 20th rank.
The main source of resources were daily quests. Players could get rewards ranging from 40 to 100 gold coins, but more often than not players were offered the minimum reward. Players initially had the option to click the reroll button to try to find a more valuable quest reward. For the Marvel Snap game, this complex innovation is still not available. According to our old calculations in 2014, the average reward for daily quests was equivalent to 48 gold coins.
Unlike modern Hearthstone, where players get XP for the time spent in the game, classic Hearthstone offered 10 gold coins for 3 wins. This means that if a player was not good enough, or just unlucky with their opponents, they received no reward for their efforts.
The game also had a limit of gold that could be obtained for victories. Thus, a player could get no more than 100 coins per day in different modes. And the total gold limit on the account was 20,000 gold coins, so gold could not be accumulated for a long time. Let's imagine that a player played Hearthstone every day for about an hour, which at 50% win rate allowed him to complete a daily quest and get 10 coins for 3 victories. Thus an active player could accumulate 1,800 gold coins in a month, which is equivalent to 18 packs. At this rate, it would take the player more than 2 years to get the entire classic collection. In 2024, under the same conditions, the player can receive from 2,200 to 2,600 gold coins, depending on the availability of the Tavern Pass. Please note that after 10 years, in addition to these rewards, players regularly receive gifts during events, Twitch drops during tournaments and pre-release parties, a guaranteed weekly pack in the Tavern Brawl mode, as well as rewards for completing achievements plus many rewards in addition to gold from the rewards track. A crazy fan or just a Hearthstone streamer who spent more than 8 hours in the game daily could earn 4,400 coins. Even under such difficult conditions, it would take him more than 10 months to build up a complete collection of the classic set. The income of the most active players in gold has not changed significantly after 10 years, but the remaining rewards are of enormous value.
Under these circumstances, the importance of Arena Mode Street 2014 was immense, as a good player could significantly increase his daily rewards, save time and thus build a collection much faster.
The almost complete lack of progress and variety led to me deleting the game in early fall 2014. I had almost no opportunities to expand my collection, and buying packs for real money could not change the situation significantly.
Another very important feature of Hearthstone that set it apart from its competitors was regular content. Every 4 months we received an important update. The first add-on to Hearthstone was the Curse of Naxxramas Adventure, which saw the light of day in July 2014. It was a small expansion that brought interesting solo content divided into 4 parts and totaling 30 new cards. All of this could be obtained for just 2,800 coins or $25. Any player could unlock access to all the content for free for just a month and a half. It was a very simple and guaranteed way to expand your collection, completely devoid of surprise mechanics. Adventure periods allowed players to accumulate resources to buy packs of the next major expansion or to add to the collection of previous add-ons.
Early December saw the release of the new Goblins vs Gnomes packs, which gave us a definitive idea of the value of the next major add-ons. The set was much smaller than the classic set and contained only 123 cards, 20 of which were legendary.
The announcement of this expansion made me stop my 2-month hiatus and come back to the game to see the changes. I didn't expect to stay in the game forever after this. According to our calculations, players should have purchased 300 new packs for $350 to get all the cards in the set. As a gift, Blizzard offered players 3 packs for free for logging into the game, which is 1% of the required amount.
Let's finally get to the final calculations. The total cost of all the cards presented during the first year of Hearthstone is equivalent to almost 79,000 gold or $925 for 393 cards. If we take into account the extended duration of the conditional first year of play, an active player who spent an hour in the game every day could earn resources equivalent to 25,000 gold for a year, which was 33% of the full collection. If this player wanted to possess the full collection, he should have spent $640 on microtransactions during the year. This amount can be considered the maximum cost of the collection for active players in 2014. And I'll say it again. This cost includes a lot of useless cards that the player doesn't need. In turn, a crazy fan who spent 8 hours daily in the game could get more than 59,000 gold during the year, which was 75% of the full collection. Thus, without impressive results in the arena, even the most active player could not get a theoretical opportunity to collect all the cards in a year for free, even if he spent most of his active life in the game. He had to pay an additional $230 over the course of the year.
Guys, what does the Hearthstone economy look like right now?
We're still processing data for 2024, but according to the 2023 results, under roughly the same circumstances, an active player can get about 60% of the cost of the full collection. This means that with proper resource management, a player can get free access to almost all of the most effective cards.
But if a player wants to collect additionally weak or useless cards, he will have to spend on microtransactions from $200 to $285 during the year. That will allow him to collect 549 new cards. Yes, I know. You probably think this amount of money is still unreasonably high and that you can buy 3 to 4 AAA games for this money. But note that this is not a compulsory purchase, which most likely will not affect your competitiveness, but you will expand your collection and get access to more Tier 2 and Tier 3 decks. The crazy fan, game streamer or AFK grinder who spends most of his life in the game has the opportunity to get all the cards for free with no additional transactions.
This does not mean that the current state of the economy is perfect. For example, I have my doubts that returning and new players are not getting enough resources, and if you're interested, I'll check it out in one of the next videos. But you can't ignore the fact that the situation for active players has changed dramatically. If you play the game for a long time, you have enough resources for a comfortable and varied game. By the way, I do not exclude that all these many positive changes step by step led to a decrease in the game's revenue and subsequently to the financial problems that we discussed in the previous video.
Let's get to the conclusions. 10 years ago, Hearthstone introduced a whole new standard in the card game genre, and also created an impetus for the gaming industry as a whole. The unique approach to game design still remains an unattainable standard for many game studios. In turn, the emergence of ambitious new competitors in the industry has forced Hearthstone to constantly adapt to new conditions, and gradually evolve to face the competition.
Over the course of 10 years, Hearthstone managed to survive a battle with a slew of would-be killer games that were ambitious enough to challenge the kings of the industry, but the only serious advantage they had was lower cost, which subsequently led to minimal revenue.
As time has shown, this was the main reason for their demise. Over the past 10 years, Hearthstone has become much better, and we hope that the game will continue to set trends in the genre for the next 10 years.
Finally, we can't wait to hear your opinion.
How long have you been playing the game, and do you experience any changes in the cost of the game?
Share your thoughts in the comments and join the polls in the community tab. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for spending this time with us. We really hope that we will have the opportunity to get in touch in the next video.
Take care of yourself.
And never give up.
Job's done.